Vince McMahon is giving up on Roman Reigns. WWE have decided he's not the guy, so he's no longer going to be in the title picture anymore. It's a sentence that many smarks dream of hearing, but if they search their feelings, they know it's unlikely to happen. Just because John Cena 2.0 isn't to your liking doesn't mean the company are changing their minds anytime soon. How many main events does he have to be in until we realise that Vince McMahon would feed Kenny Omega to the big dog just to get him over? However, there have been occasions where the boss has held up his hands and recognised his audience just aren't buying what he's selling. We can dream! I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture, and these are 7 moments Vince McMahon admitted defeat with the fans. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to stay notified. Ding, ding, done. Number 7. Replacing Diesel with Workhorse champions. Diesel, initially hired to play bodyguard for Shawn Michaels, beat Bob Backlund in mere seconds at MSG to become WWF champion in November 1994. He ran mild with the belt for just shy of 1 full year before dropping it to Bret Hart at Survivor Series 1995. The change showed McMahon's acknowledgement that his fanbase craved a faster, more athletic brand of champion. Being tall isn't everything, trust me, I know. Until Psycho Sid won it, Vince gave up on the big man formula and went with the likes of Hart and Michaels as his torchbearer. One day, Finn, one day you might be back in the title picture rather than being fed to old mayoral candidates. Believe. Number 6. Letting D-Generation X run amok. For those who missed the New Generation years, you really dodged a bullet. Characters like this, and like this were deemed acceptable. Just no. Then, suddenly, Shawn Michaels teamed up with Triple H as D-Generation X to offer something fresh, and the rebellious spirit that had become known as Attitude became prevalent. I was 9 at the time, and bloody loved every second of it. After initially not being best pleased, McMahon would soon come around and embrace the antics of D-Generation X. By doing so, he admitted to himself and the audience that the old way wasn't working any longer. Thank God. Now let's never speak of Adam Bomb again. Number 5. Scrapping Lex Luger as the next Hulk Hogan. In 1993, McMahon decided that Lex Luger was the ideal candidate to supplant Hulk Hogan. And thus, a lengthy bus tour, because nothing screams excitement like a bus tour, dubbed the Lex Express, started. The Luger attempt carried on until 94, by which time it became obvious even to Vince that another Hogan-style go-around decked out in stars and stripes, America, wasn't going to cut it. It was WrestleMania 10 that showed Luger where he really stood. After fans had cheered louder for Bret Hart at the Rumble, Lex was again outperformed by Hart, this time in the ring. Bret ended the night as WWF champ, and Lex was demoted to mid-card status from that point on. Still though, you'll always have that SummerSlam celebration, eh Lex, despite, not winning the title. Number 4. The Ultimate Warrior experiment. Before the Lex Express ran out of gas, McMahon hitched his hopes and dreams on the Ultimate Warrior's wagon as Hogan's successor. Oh dear. It all started so brightly too when Hulk dropped the WWF title to Warrior at WrestleMania 6 and rode off into the sunset to film Suburban Commando or some shit. However, Warrior's weaknesses were overexposed, and by 1991, McMahon pulled the plug on Warrior as his champion, booked him to lose to Sergeant Slaughter, and inevitably put the belt back on Hulk at Mania 7. Yes, 1 year after being portrayed as a Hogan beater who would carry the promotion on his back, Warrior was reduced to performing a main event run-in to save Hulk before celebrating his success. Number 3. Bringing Matt Hardy back. The ongoing love triangle drama involving Matt Hardy, Edge and Lita was not something WWE wanted to deal with in 2005. Think of all the stuff they've greenlit, but then they drew the line at an affair. Jesus. Anyway, exactly 3 months after a very public internet outburst, hello comment section, saw his contract terminated, Matt was back on TV and attacking Edge in backstage segments on Raw. There had been a groundswell of support for Matt from fans, and it was sufficient enough to catch Vince's attention. Ka-ching. There was money to be made, damn it! And WWE wanted that sweet green, even if it came from Hardy's real-life anguish. Number 2, making himself a heel character. Post-Survivor Series 1997, Vince McMahon believed fans would be on his side, not Bret Hart's, which tells you all you need to know about how this mad bastard's mind works. It wasn't until 1998 that Vince finally relented and turned himself into the villainous Mr. McMahon character. Bruce Pritchard said Vince didn't want to put himself in the firing line. Yeah, because the McMahons would never do that, eh? Fans wanted to boo McMahon, and that was true whether he fancied encouraging it or not. Though it made sense to fan the flames, Vince only truly realised the potential his character had when Austin needed a stuffy, suited antagonist. Boo this man. Number 1, Daniel Bryan's push. To WWE, Bryan was merely a B-plus player who, whilst popular with fans, was never going to be the man they built the company round. When WWE booked Batista to win the 2014 Royal Rumble and headline WrestleMania 30 instead of Bryan, the gloves were off. Surely fans would see Vince's point of view on this one, right? Haha, nope. People wanted to see Daniel Bryan in the main event picture, and they booed the crap out of Batista anytime he appeared on screen as an act of defiance against WWE's plans. Aw, poor Dave. When it was revealed that the winner of Bryan vs. Triple H in Mania's opening match would decide who moved on to the Triple Threat main event, it felt like a massive victory for wrestling fans everywhere. Finally, even if they didn't initially agree, WWE had been compelled to listen. It does sometimes happen, I promise.